when we approached you about this project, what was the determining factor that said, yes, this is something I want to participate in?
In saying I would do this, I was really reaffirming my belief that we are going to win. Because if we're going to do this, we're going to have a documentary or documentation of this, then it's going to be of a winning race. It's going to be something that's going to lift women and lift the LGBT community up. So that was an important part of it for me personally.
The Quinn campaign has seen the numbers that you guys are reporting, and according to a top aide, quote, Christine Quinn knows she didn't win. I think right now what's going on is processing that this very long campaign has come to an end, and additionally, for now, her political career has come to an end.
This night must be a very emotional event for Christine Quinn. She had so much to look forward to. When she announced her candidacy back in, was it March? Yep. She was riding high, and it was at that point hers to lose. But so much has happened in the interim.
Well, that's right.
Last.
Turn that up, Ray.
Last.
Ladies and gentlemen, Christine Quinn.
Well, thank you, Marty. Thank you, Huey Lewis and the News. And thank you, Brooklyn.
Christine Quinn is a person who had put in her time, staff to a city council member of the city council, speaker of the city council. People thought that she had earned this opportunity and that she'd be the favorite.
We are here today to consider two pieces of legislation.
She has literally changed the rules and made them fair and better for all New Yorkers.
I obviously, in the strongest of all possible ways, urge the members of the State Senate to vote for marriage equality.
She had a record to run on. She had concrete achievements, and she was endorsed by the 3 major papers. I don't recall ever that someone received all 3.
She had good union support, and she had a terrific team.
Oh, look at that.
There are 2 major historic components to her candidacy. She would be the first woman candidate, and she'd be the first gay mayor of New York.
The LGBT community, we're right here tonight on ground where people fought back against things much harder than we have. Things much harder than the attacks I've taken in this campaign to send a message that we are New York.
Whoever is mayor of the City of New York is a national leader because it is the second most important job in the country. I thought that she, or certainly would be a main contender. Some of her opponents have no record. They have done nothing.
Quinn is going to win.
When I'm mayor, the best days for New York lie ahead of us and up behind us. If I have to, I can do anything. I am strong.
I am overwhelmed.
Maury, I can't.
Go on, Chris, walk to the back of the truck, this way.
Where do I?
Come on. Hurry.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first live television debate of the candidates running for
Quinn betrayed the people of the city of New York.
Speaker Quinn gave Mayor Bloomberg a third term in a backroom deal that defied the Democratic will of the people. What did we get? A massive increase in the use of stop and frisk. That's what we got in the third term.
I think my opponents are attacking me repeatedly because they simply do not have that kind of record delivering for middle-class New Yorkers.
Thank you, everyone, for having a spirited debate. So many of you have written in with questions for these candidates.
I've watched her get kind of pummeled along the way, and it's been ups and downs, but probably my main advice to her was to stay true, to run a good, honest campaign, and to not let the noise get in her head.
How you doing?
Yeah, pleasure, Mrs.
Nice to meet you.
I would love to see someone from the gay community be a mayor. I think that's a wonderful step in the right direction in history. But it was so sickening where Bloomberg got a third term, and you seem to be like down with him.
You know, I did vote to allow there to be a third term, and I know some folks disagree with that. What I'd ask you is you go to our website, and look at the other positions on other issues.
Your positions are wonderful. Somebody sent me something on the internet that said that you have to change politicians like if they're diapers, because they're both of them are full of you-know-what, after a while, you know what I mean? So you have to keep on changing them.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I could never vote for you after what you did on term limits.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about that.
It was unforgivable.
Okay. Thank you for stopping.
Mike Bloomberg is an asset in a general election, but a liability in a Democratic primary. I think somewhere along the way she had to define herself. Was she a challenger or a continuation of Bloomberg?
Why do you think people are so polarized over the term limits issue? Why it's important to them now?
I'm not 100% sure because, that it's still something so many people are so passionate about. I don't really know. I mean, I understand certainly why people are angry about it. The depth of the anger still sometimes surprises me, but I certainly understand that. I don't minimize what we did by any stretch of the imagination. People will say I should have distanced myself from the mayor. Could I have done that? Having been the chief legislator for 8 years and worked with him on so much stuff, would that have been digestible to voters? I don't know.
We're here in this historic place, Stonewall. And if you're here and you're under 25 and you don't know what it is, Google it. We need Christine Quinn in there because she knows how to protect us. She is one of us.
Our Christine Quinn, Big Dyke. They love her around New York City, and she's gonna be our next mayor.
We believe in God. God is stronger than all, and we have to do the will of God.
Christine Quinn is one of the front runners right now.
She is terrible. She is really a snake in that issue. She is the biggest supporter for all immorality laws. She's fighting against God with the whole power, and of course, nobody will gonna vote for her.
I guess my prejudices are there. I don't like the idea of a queer, all right, running office, okay? I just try to envision it, the relationship. Yeah.
And I really appreciate you, and I know Chris does, taking the time to be out here for us as we're,
22 days.
Oh my
3
gosh.
weeks from tomorrow.
I know.
3 weeks from tomorrow.
I had hoped that she would never have to do this because she really is a very shy and private person. And I just get emotional thinking about what she did, because it's really, she does not like press. She doesn't like to be looked at. She doesn't, you know, that's not who she is. And when I asked her to do this, she said she would do anything I needed her to do, and it really it means a lot, because it was not easy for her.
Get to work. All right, wait, this is my first time here. All right, I'm gonna go over there. All right. Give it a shot.
And she did great. She did really, really great. She did really great. She's not a good leaf litter as of this morning, but she did great. Yeah, that's right.
I keep edging back, and you guys are.
And people were super excited to see her this morning.
Is this
Kim?
Kim.
How are you?
I like that
Nice to meet
four-leaf
you.
clover you got.
Yeah, we tried. When I grew up, this neighborhood was really an Irish ghetto. Anyway,
Yes.
all the best. You know, I'm
Thank
voting
you.
for you. I look forward to
Thank
it.
you very
Thanks, Kim.
much.
It's nice to meet you.
Christine
Quinn, September 10th.
How are you doing, Kim? Hanging in there. My first day out officially. I got my first vote, though. I did
Give me
my
one of
first
those
one
anyway.
out.
I think I know.
Pardon?
Yes, of course.
Did you know Quinn has blocked every animal protection bill in the city councils?
Has she?
You know, she blocked a bill that would mandate sprinklers in pet stores. Hundreds of dogs and cats have burned to death in pet store fires.
Well, that sounds awful.
The animal rights movement has focused on the horse carriage industry. And there's nothing in New York like a small, well-organized group to make themselves heard.
Good morning, anybody but Quinn.
They are folks who wanted to ban the carriage horses. And I decided, instead of banning carriage horses, which would have lost us about 300 to 400 jobs, to instead humanely regulate the carriage horse industry.
She's never been able to escape those attacks because people will contribute an enormous amount of money to protect the rights of animals. That's been one of the forces against her.
Good morning. Do you know your ABQs? Anybody but Quinn for mayor?
Do you know how frivolous that is? Anybody? We run anybody.
We're part of a coalition that believes that literally anybody would be better for mayor than her.
Well, then you shouldn't say anybody.
Okay.
I came from New Jersey. I love you. You have to win. Thank you. So much. I'm voting for you. Thank you. Go for it.
Thank you.
So I stand here before you to say, make no mistake, we have women power out here. We're going to elect who? Christine Quinn.
Where's Johnny Cash? Give me Johnny Cash! Somebody other than this girl! Oh my God!
In with Quinn! In with Quinn! In with Quinn! Withstood months of attacks, and we've responded with the facts and the issues. Because we want to make it clear to all of those young girls that I see out when I'm campaigning, and they say, you're the one Mama told me about. You can see that they now know they can be anything they want to be, anywhere in the world.
I don't think I anticipated how negative it would be from day one. I don't think I anticipated just the negativity.
You were awesome at the rally.
Well, you thought, because I didn't think it was as good as Friday.
I actually thought it was better than
Oh, good.
Friday
Okay,
anyway,
good.
but,
Because there was a heckler right in the front, and for a second she rattled me.
well, but that's when you just took a breath and didn't stop, so
Right.
nobody even actually heard her.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I worry about some of the people out there and some of the haters. I don't want to go into detail, but we get letters, we get, you know, we've gotten a number of things, and people don't see what she's had directed at her. People don't always see that.
We are joined by Christine Quinn. The odds-on favorite for a long time. Recent polls, Madam Speaker, suggest a fall, a rather precipitous fall. Anyway, sorry about that.
City Council Speaker Christine Quinn denies diminishing leads in polls.
The woman running for mayor of New York City apparently has a temper, and some people love it and some people don't.
As a woman, I sometimes get offended when I hear things like she's got a nasty mouth, she can get loud, because I feel like sometimes women are held to a different standard than men.
In the course of the last 5-6 weeks, I've had to beat back stories about the shoes Chris Quinn wears, how much she pays to have her hair done, why she wore pink to a debate, why her laugh is so loud. I don't see those stories, and I certainly know that those things don't get asked of some of our opponents in this race.
As mayor, I'll build on our progress, and I'll make sure that nobody gets left behind. But too happy? Yeah.
Chris's gender as the only woman in the race, it's been a challenge. It has been a challenge.
And I'll make sure that nobody gets left behind.
One more, guys. Keep your eye, try to keep the eyes open. I don't want the opposite direction.
You know, we have to recognize that and calibrate that to a certain degree, or be mindful of it. It's much harder to lead with tough when you're a woman candidate than it is if you're a male candidate.
We're gonna stop, all right? Everybody come down the slide, everybody come down to the bottom over here. And when we're ready, we're gonna do what I told you, all right? We're gonna start over there. Are we almost ready?
What's the most hurtful thing that's happened to you in this campaign?
You know, I think the most hurtful thing is to hear people say I'm unlikable. Have I heard I'm tough? Yes. Have I heard I'm pushy? Yes. Have I heard I'm loud? Yes. All of that I've heard, but to kind of hear I'm unlikable and to have some press kind of misrepresent the pushiness as vindictiveness has been hurtful.
Well, make sure you call her Madam Speaker. City Council Speaker Christine Quinn made the point clear when she lost her cool with a reporter who reduced her to tears on Wednesday.
You should actually call me Speaker, and you would be referred to as ma'am. It's my press conference, so I actually decide what words are necessary.
The greatest challenge is overcoming the inherent difficulty of being a successful politician and being a woman at the same time. And that tension is real, that tension exists, and it has been played out throughout the campaign.
And I'm running for mayor to support those families and to make this an even greater city for the middle class. How long was that, Justin? How long? Well, it's 30. Let's do the closing again first.
You're still a little loud, and I know that this is hard. Try to smile a little bit more.
Okay.
Got a little much.
I think people are looking for change in this city. I think they want a new progressive approach. I think that's across all demographics.
The reason de Blasio has been effective is that he has defined his issues. He had been saying that stop and frisk was unconstitutional and was one of the strongest critics of it.
Mayor Bloomberg has never understood that guaranteeing people's constitutional rights, respecting civil liberties, is supposed to walk hand in hand with public safety in this country.
Now, once we had a federal judge who had said it was unconstitutional, and it gave his position great validity.
And we are back. A federal judge ruled this week that the stop and frisk tactics of New York City's police are unconstitutional.
Suddenly, de Blasio had gained the moral upper hand.
I want to tell you a little bit about Bill de Blasio. He's the only Democrat with the guts to really break from the Bloomberg era, and he's the only one who will end a stop and frisk era.
Bill de Blasio took his son Dante and made him the star of his commercials.
Many politicians usually shy away from putting their family in the forefront, but that
Dante.
commercial, Dante shows up.
Yeah.
It seemed like it spoke to everyone that's out there.
Dante has turned out to be the secret weapon. Black families feel good about him. White families feel good about him. I don't think that there's a way to counter a positive impression that this kid has been making on TV.
My hair, it's finally I got a compliment for my hair. You know how long it's been since that's happened? I've been living in a hair shadow. You know, meet Dante.
Thank you, Dante.
Kathleen Turner.
Press office. Hello.
Look, there's no doubt the guy's had a surge. I think that the ad was pretty effective.
Anytime you put a child on who speaks as well as he did on that ad about a parent or a candidate, it's an effective thing. It's very endearing. It's very likable. So it certainly was both good politics and good strategy. There's no question about it.
Do you worry that his message of change is sinking in and will make a difference on?
You know, look, you worry about everything. I worry that everybody else's message is sinking in. I worry, is my message sinking in enough? I worry about all of it.
Not in recent time have I ever seen an entire campaign turn on a commercial.
Bill de Blasio is upending the Democratic primary for mayor with a late surge in the polls. Our Grace Rouse spent a day on the campaign trail.
It's a 1-2 punch from de Blasio late in the Democratic race for mayor.
A new survey has him close to 40%. That's the magic number that would allow him to win the Democratic primary without a runoff.
Stress away.
Yeah, it's cool. Put it yeah, behind the ears there.
Apply to neck, temples, and behind the ears to relieve stress. It works.
Something.
Do we think this jacket looks too big?
I don't.
I can try a different jacket.
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, it's, you know, it's a very nice dress. I mean, a jacket.
No, I know. I'm just wondering, do they think it looks too
I
big?
really don't. You're uncomfortable. It's just that you've been wearing everything very fitted, so
Right.
it's a difference. You know?
All right, well, you get dressed.
So let's, yeah.
I'll try something else.
She's human. You know, people tend to think of elected officials as just people who this stuff rolls off their back. And I know there are some, you know, who are probably like that. Chris is definitely not one of them. She really cares about what people think of her and cares about how good a job she's doing. And I worry.
This is an official city debate administered by the New York City Campaign Finance Board.
You know, this is another example of Bill de Blasio saying one thing and doing something quite different.
He will say anything depending on whose votes he's trying to get.
Both of my colleagues just issued a series of inaccurate statements, so let's be very clear.
It is not, again, what he said, and it's Bill talking out of both sides of his mouth, making a list that's supposed to help tenants, but really it's a race now for me to get into second. So we need to make sure that we're kind of, to the degree we can, you know, bringing some votes away from de Blasio and bringing them to us.
Christine Quinn has offered only contradictions. She says she wants to reform Stop and Frisk, but she wants to keep the architect of the overuse of Stop and Frisk.
Yes, hello, Mr. Frederick. My name is Ogmin, and I'm calling from Christine Quinn's campaign for mayor. How are you tonight?
Hi, Violet. This is Alex calling from Chris Quinn's campaign.
Would count on your support?
Hey, Antonio, it's Kim Catullo, Chris Quinn's wife. We're in an all-out sprint, as you know.
Okay, thanks.
We were the front runner at one point. We're not the front runner any longer. We're in the position of being the underdog, which is not a bad position to be in, particularly when it comes to sort of getting everyone to put every last ounce of sweat they have into the effort.
Yep, got it.
Sometimes I'm praying that I get into the runoff and win the runoff, and then sometimes I'm praying that whatever God's will is in this race will be what happens. Depends on what kind of mindset I'm in.
Good morning, it's 70 degrees. It's 7:40 on this Tuesday, September 10th, and here's what's happening. New Yorkers heading to the polls for primary day. There are already some problems. We've got team coverage coming up.
Hi, how are you? Thank you very much. Thank you. Right or left, right?
Oh, have a nice day.
Watch out for
What were they
the
yelling?
I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes.
Today for Thompson. Today for Thompson. Thompson. Today for Thompson. Yes. Today for Thompson.
Thank you. And say hi to Bill de Blasio, next mayor of New York City. All right, do it.
You're next. Pull it to the right.
I've emerged from my laboratory.
Christine Quinn's 14 years in elected office is coming to an end. Quinn led polls for months, but as Democrats focused on the race, more opted for a cleaner break with Mayor Bloomberg than she offered.
There are a lot of times that people say, hey, look, a month is an eternity in politics. Well, this is what they mean. I mean, she was leading repeatedly in the polls, and it was all pointing in the direction of Christine Quinn as the nominee. And then things just started to go wrong. Some of them, you know, you maybe could have predicted, but much of it you could not have predicted.
This is a loss and it's disappointing. Less for me personally, but for what this could have meant for a lot of people and a lot of people who worked very, very hard. And so certainly one of the things I'm going to do in the days and weeks ahead is spend time thanking people who worked really, really hard, you know, and believed in something. And I want them to know how grateful I am.
And who will you be thinking of when you speak tonight?
I'm just not going to answer that question.
All right, thanks. All right, hey Brett, can you give us a few minutes? Is that all right? Thanks.
Become a tale of two cities. One where the very wealthy had not only rebounded from the Great Recession, but where life couldn't get much better.
People may disagree with decisions I made, they may disagree with votes that I cast, but I really love New York, and all I ever really wanted was to be of service and to make this city a better place for everybody.
Obviously disappointed by the results. I gotta tell you, all of you guys couldn't make me more optimistic about the future of our city and where you will bring it. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
In the scheme of life, it's by far not the worst thing that can happen to somebody. The sun rose and I got up. And I got up and was in a home with a woman I love.
I think the voters heard the noise. They heard the negative ads, they heard untrue stories, they heard the comparisons to the mayor, the things that if you don't know her, you might believe.
I'm so proud to be here today with so many of my fellow New York City Democrats and my fellow supporters and members of organized labor to endorse Bill de Blasio to be the next mayor of the city of New York.